Well, welcome to another Juke's Joint special. And it was probably about a year ago, maybe it was 6 months, but I think it was longer. Pretty close to a year back when this channel started, at least last summer, when I said I would give you a closer look at some old technology I had. And I showed you this picture and briefly talked about my Edison cylinders and discs, but I figured today was a good time to give you a better look. So let's take a look at some technology from a little over 100 years ago. Of course, the first recording technology for music was writing it down. And that goes all the way back to ancient Egypt and maybe earlier. And of course, it was refined over the centuries, and in Europe reached its perfection as far as writing music is concerned, the writing down of music. But after that, there was a long period of inactivity, and then during the industrial era, a lot of mechanical devices started to pop up, and there were player pianos and all kinds of other machines that actually played live instruments. Look that up sometime. It's really fascinating to see what was invented. But the player piano was basically a renewable music box. It was a piano that had, you could buy piano rolls for it, and each of those had been played by a professional musician, often the composer. There are Scott Joplin rags on player piano rolls, and that's how we know roughly what he sounded like, because it is basically a recording of him being played back on another piano. And then there was really nothing until Thomas Edison invented the talking machine. So let's take a look at that technology and how it changed over the years and led to vinyl records, and then all the different iterations, CDs and files and all the things that we have now. So this is a piano roll. It's from the Aeolian Music Company, and it's from My Fair Lady. It has a medley of songs from My Fair Lady. And the way these things worked, there is a series of holes, and there's a piano that a player will record into, if you will, play the piece and punch holes in a master a roll, and then that is manufactured and sent to people who would like to have their player piano play it back. And even if you can't play piano at all, you just put the roll in and pump your feet in the pedals, and it goes through the mechanism, the machinery that tells which keys to play at what time, and you can hear whatever song is on the piano roll. In this case, it's several from My Fair Lady. So this is an Edison cylinder, and it was the first record, if you will, that Edison came out with for the talking machine. There are a number of different series. There's blue and gold, and they have different types of music on them, and supposedly different audio quality based on the materials in the recording. This is Edison Blue Series, and it is a quintet recording, a classical piece. They're basically ceramic tubes. You'll take a look inside in a second. You'll see it's basically clay with an outer coating that was used to etch in the grooves, which were played back on a circular machine. They would post this thing on an arm and crank it until it would revolve, and the needle would go across, and the reproducer would reproduce what's in the grooves. This is a string quartet. I'm not sure if it's called Genius Loci or if that's the name of the piece. It doesn't indicate who the artist is unless that's the group, and I don't know, to be honest with you. There was a little catalog number there, and then they're all sort of etched with his signature as well. So you'll see Thomas Edison's signature. This is an Edison disc. And you see, he liked to put his picture and his signature and his name on all of his inventions. He was a good self-promoter, a real good self-promoter. But these are the earliest round and flat records. People will argue about who really came up with it. Was it Emil Berliner or Berliner, depending on who you talk to, or Edison? But around the same time, they came up with the idea of making these things round and flat. But see how thick they are compared to vinyl records of yesterday and today? They're very thick, and there's a coating on the outside, but it's not actually vinyl or shellac or anything else that's inside the record. You'll take a look here and see what is inside. This one has a paper label that's glued on. What is the basis for the disc is very interesting. They're pretty heavy, And that's because when you flip it over, you will see that this is actually wood. It's sawdust and glue. It's basically a thick pressed board. And on the outside of that is a coating of, I'm not sure if it was vinyl. It's a different kind of material, but it's not shellac either. I'd have to look that one up for you, but I know it's basically coated with what they would press the grooves into from a master recording. So there you can see that's what's inside that record. It's a big slab of pressboard wood. So they're much heavier than normal records today. And again, you wouldn't play this on a modern player, even when outfitted for 78s. It's a different needle, a different stylus, and it runs at a different revolutions per minute, if I'm not mistaken. I almost got a hold of a Edison player last year at a really good price, but I missed out on that one. So if I ever get one, I'll show it to you. For now, though, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.